Do you think this is why she didn't turn up to the Kevin Costner charity event in
Well, of course,
Montecito
she
on
would have
Friday
been
night?
rude.
Because she claimed she
Wouldn't
was
she have
sick.
been? Well, of course, she was sick. And I'm sure she's going to hope that when she recovers, the world will come awake the way it did for Catherine, and everybody's going to be as jubilant for her recovery as they were for Catherine's. Sick. She's certain, but my understanding is she's suffering from narcissistic collapse. You know? So,
Yeah.
but whether she had narcissistic collapse or not, I think she's clever enough to understand, especially after last year, where Kevin Costner
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
was actually quite cutting towards her, and his staff were as well. I think she understood that if she turns up this time,
Wait for it.
it's going to be shining a spotlight on her failure. So she's been sensible enough to pull back.
And of course, Harry, on his own in New York.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
And he doesn't really seem in a good place, Lady C. He doesn't seem to be particularly enjoying this visit. It's all very much by the numbers. But there was one moment I think that particularly annoyed me in New York when he was talking about social media. And of course, he hides all of this, right, around the idea that he's trying to protect the children. When we know, actually, Lady C, what he is trying to do...
Wait for it.
...is shut down free speech and protect himself as a public figure. But let's have a look at what he had to say, and I'll get you to react off the bat.
My lock screen is a picture of my kids.
Okay.
What's yours? These children and thousands more meant the world to their families. The beautiful faces you see before you, their smiles, their dreams, all lost. All too soon, and all because of social media. It's why we launched the Parents Network.
What is he doing?
A global community that provides crucial support to parents whose children have suffered from the harmful effects of social media. These platforms are designed to create addiction. Young people are kept there.
Wait for it.
By mindless, endless, numbing scrolling, being force-fed content that no child should ever be exposed to. It's not free will. But our kids are being targeted.
Are you serious?
The harmful effects of social media are made by design. While we embolden both youth and parents, we must also hold digital platforms accountable. Surely, none of us want to live in a world
Almost there.
where there is no consequence or accountability.
But I don't want to live in a world, Lady C, where a royal or an estranged royal wants to control what media.
Fact.
I consume. Thank you very much.
Well, especially one who has Harry's predilections and difficulties and solutions.
You've got a little cold there?
Are you serious?
Doria, superb weed. You know, I mean, he really has a nerve, but
yeah.
But this is nonsensical.
Fact.
On several levels. First of all, as anybody who has any knowledge of addiction can tell you, and he's speaking about addiction, and he has
Wait for it.
authority on the subject because, in my opinion, he's an addict as well. But like all addicts who are medicating as opposed to uh, solving the problem.
Wait for it.
He doesn't understand how addiction works. But what he's doing is he is saying that our social media is responsible for the deaths of all those children at the palace. And I mean, people absolutely loathed her with a passion because of her behavior. Everybody set out wanting to like her, and everybody set out trying to embrace her.
Fact.
And and she's the one who set out to really make their lives, and as a result of that, her own life, the misery that it has become. Don't you think?
Oh,
You better answer the fucking question.
absolutely. Because what's so significant about this is she can't blame the fact that these publications have turned on her on them being part of the establishment or in cahoots with the men in grey suits.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
Or any of the things that she tried to say about the publications and journalists in the UK who exposed her behaviour, or authors and commentators like yourself. She can't say that because
Wait for it.
The Hollywood Reporter and the Daily Beast, as you quite rightly point out, Lady C, were for a long time in her pocket. They were doing lots of her propaganda, but the story has become too big and her behaviour has become too appalling for them to ignore.
Fact.
That's right. That's right. And you will notice, Dan, that in the story, the original Hollywood Reporter story, Harry was presented as
Wait for it.
sweeter than the sweetest candy. And my understanding is that that was so that she would have the justification of saying, well, you see, the palace doesn't like me, but they're protecting their own.
Are you serious?
And of course, the whole thing has spectacularly backfired and will continue to backfire because Harry also is not exemplary. His behavior is sometimes quite appalling. And that's to come. But they have worked themselves into a box with every maneuver and every manipulation that they have tried that was going to glorify them and denigrate the royal family and denigrate the royal institution. It's gradually everything has backfired. And now they are both exposed for what they are. But she especially, I mean, she is loathed, I'm told, in Hollywood. I mean, I was told by somebody who's Hollywood royalty in quotes, that nobody's ever liked her. But
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
and before she was famous, she kept on hitting brick walls because she was so incredibly pushy and she was so incredibly arrogant. But once she had her very limited minor success that she had on Suits, she was tolerated. But once she started with the look how wonderful I am stuff, that, they couldn't abide her in Hollywood. And doors had been slamming for much longer than people realize. It's just that a few of the bigwigs,
Wait for it.
thought they could make money off her and off Harry. And I mean, to a large extent, it spectacularly backfired because Spotify didn't make any money to
Are you serious?
speak of, and Netflix isn't making any money to
Not a
speak
penny.
of either. And you once the Hollywood Reporter, which liked her, trashes you,
Wait for it.
this is confirmation that the party is over. It's also confirmation that Ari Emanuel and Ted Sarandos are either getting ready to push her
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
or they are going to downgrade her to such an extent that it is going to be laughable. I mean, this sort of thing doesn't happen. You will know how these things work. People of that caliber can kill stories The fact that this story hasn't been killed, and in fact it's flourished and continues to flourish, shows that at the absolute top level, with the few people that she had
Stop it.
going for promoting her, that she's lost to a large extent their support. And that I suspect they're just getting ready to jettison her in as
Wait for it.
decent and as pleasant a way as possible, failing which they're going to revise her contracts to such an extent that she's going to, well, she's returning to what she was. No deal, not even, and certainly not a big deal. You know.
Do you think it was significant, Lady C? I know you referred to it just a moment ago, but do you think it was significant?
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
That the Hollywood Reporter was still fawning over Prince Harry? Were they trying to protect him in some way? Because all of the blame they placed on Meghan, which, as you say, isn't actually true. I mean,
That doesn't make sense.
Harry is in lots of ways as bad as her, but it was very telling, I thought, that the piece was targeted all at Meghan and not at Harry at all.
Yes, well, my information is that when she set it up, or she